In Ayurveda, from mid-autumn to mid-winter defines Vata season, a period of cold, dry, and windy conditions, what cumulatively can aggravate those with a primary Vata dosha, being air and ether. In what is now the seat of Vata season until around mid-February, slower fluid movement on the mat can mentally and physically ground Vata, rooting presence. For this pacifying flow, I recommend you be in a warm, quiet space with comfortable natural fiber clothes that can breathe and maintain any warmth your movement generates. As you set up to practice in this space, if you feel a tinge of coolness, wearing a light, comfortable winter hat while moving on the mat allows warmth to the head, creating a soothing, grounding effect that Vatas love, as it decreases doshic aggravation that can trigger anxiety, dryness, and instability. We will be starting on our backs in knees to chest pose, Apanasana. Hugging knees into chest, closing your eyes for a few moments, inhaling and exhaling through the nose, with the exhales slightly shorter than the inhales to create energy, building energy within Vata dosha. When the exhales are longer than the inhales, it has a tendency to deplete the energy for Vatas. Doing some knee circles, rotating to the right, massaging the back of the pelvis. Fluid movements as if moving within water. And then switching to the other side, rotating the knees to the left. Again, as if in a pool of water is how it should feel as you move your body through this class. Hugging knees to the chest one last time, and then coming up to seated, easy pose Sukhasana. We will start with the right leg in front. And now doing some hip circles, rotating to the right, embodied movement here, as if you're moving your body through water, feeling that slight resistance in the slower movement, which is calming to Vata dosha to move this way. And now we will be transitioning to folding forward. Our forearms are on the ground, our palms are on the ground, continuing to ground Vata. Long, smooth breaths, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. The inhalation slightly longer than the exhale. Returning upright to seated, and then twisting to the right, gazing over our shoulder, creating some spine mobility. Returning to center, extending our legs to shake them out. And then returning to Sukhasana with the left leg now in front. Now doing some hip circles, rotating to the left. Embodied movement, slow, as if you're sitting in a pool of water and you have slight resistance on your movement. Now folding forward, forearms on the ground, palms pressing into the floor. Inhaling to an upright position and now gently twisting to the left. Returning to center, once again, extending the legs, shaking them out for a few moments, and then transitioning through tabletop into downward dog. Pedaling our feet, bending our knees, some dynamic movement as you begin to settle into the pose. And when ready, coming into a static hold, pressing through the palms and the soles of the feet, grounding on your mat. Stepping the left foot forward to the left edge of the mat as the right knee becomes passive. Palms are rooted on the floor, and our gaze is going to be at eye level or slightly beneath, which is soothing to Vata dosha. Shoulders are externally rolled back. Placing the left palm behind the head as you point the elbow down and then twist the chest open, gaze level with the eyes. Now holding that elbow up as we open the chest space. Breathing past the ribcage into the lower diaphragm. Left palm returns to the mat, and you transition into downward dog. Pressing through the palms and soles of the feet to continue to soothe and ground Vata dosha. Now stepping the right foot to the edge of the mat as we return to lizard, the left leg is passive. Right palm is placed behind the head with the elbow pointing down, doing some fluid movement, opening the chest space, and then coming into a static hold, keeping our gaze at eye level or just beneath. Returning to downward dog. Walking the hands back, coming into garland pose Malasana, and we're going to keep our hands on top of our feet, continuing to ground Vata dosha. Gaze is eye level or just beneath. Inhalations are slightly longer than the exhales, grounding the Vata, air, and ether element. Walking palms forward to downward dog. Stepping the right foot forward through the hands for a modified extended side angle, positioning your feet, and then extending that left arm overhead. The gaze here again is going to be at the eye level, not gazing up. Transitioning into Warrior Two. And then windmill in the arms to transition into Twisted Lizard. The right arm is extended, but the gaze continues to be eye level. Stepping back into Downward Dog. Stepping the left foot through the hands, transitioning into a modified extended side angle. Rising upright into Warrior Two. Shoulders are rolled back away from the ears. And then windmill in the arms. The right palm is on the mat. The left arm extends for a Twisted Lizard. The back right leg is active. Stepping back into Downward Dog. Walking the hands back towards the feet, coming into a halfway lift, and then getting peace fingers to loop them around your big toes and doing a forward fold. Inhaling into a halfway lift, returning palms to the mat, walking forward into a Downward Dog. Stepping the right foot through the hands as we transition into extended side angle. This time we can have our hand on the floor, or you can modify if you wish. Transitioning into Warrior Two. And windmilling the arms down, coming into Twisted Lizard with the right arm extended, gaze level with the eyes or just beneath. Stepping back into Downward Dog. A few breaths here. Inhaling as the left foot steps through the hands, transitioning into extended side angle. Option to have the left hand on the floor. Rising into Warrior Two. And windmilling the arms, coming into a variation of Twisted Lizard. The left arm is extended. Stepping back into Downward Dog. We're here for a few breaths. Lowering the knees, coming into wide legs, child's pose, balasana. Arms are extended, forehead is on the mat. Closing your eyes here if you wish to enhance the grounding and soothing effects this pose has on the mind and body. Regulating your breath, inhaling and exhaling through the nose deep into the belly. The inhales slightly longer than the exhales to build energy for Vata dosha. Coming into crocodile, forehead is resting on the back of the hands. Positioning the arms behind the back in Yoga Mudra as we prepare for Locust Pose. And when ready, raising head and feet off the mat. Once again, the gaze is at eye level or just beneath, engaging the core gently with this pose. Exhale, returning to crocodile. Arms come into Yoga Mudra behind the back. When ready, rising up the chest and the feet into Locust Pose. Generating some warmth in the body as we gently engage the core. Returning to crocodile. Coming up onto hands and knees and transitioning into child's pose, embryo. Arms by your side, forehead on the mat. Inhaling into kneeling, thunderbolt, vajrasana. Palms are resting on top of the legs. The eyes are closed. Spine is straight, tailbone to crown. Allowing yourself to feel the heavy sensation of your weight pressing into the mat, what grounds Vata. Opening the eyes and coming into seated staff pose Dandasana. Our legs are extended in front of us, palms are on the mat by our hips. Reaching for the toes and coming into Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold. Closing the eyes here if you wish. For this pose that is extremely beneficial to the nervous system, encouraging a parasympathetic rest and digest state. Inhale, extending the arms, straightening the back, and then placing the fingertips behind the back for a mini back bend. And just this one time, gazing upward and then shaking out the legs. Transitioning into Baddha Konasana, butterfly. Rooting the hip bones on the mat. And when ready, folding forward, hinging at the hips, and trying to keep the back as straight as possible, the spine, from the base of the spine up towards the top of the head. Remembering in this pose to move in a pain-free range. We're only on a gentle edge, as a tight edge could aggravate Vata dosha. A gentle edge is grounding and soothing to the air and ether element of Vata, which is the intention of this class. Inhaling upright, extending the spine, and then briefly twisting to the right, once again looking over the right shoulder for some spine mobility, and then twisting to the left. Returning to center as we extend the legs and shake them out, and then transition to reclining on our backs. Feet remain on the mat, the knees pointing upward. Extending the right leg, crossing it over the left for a supine pigeon pose. Closing the eyes here if you wish. Releasing the leg and transitioning to the other side for supine pigeon. Allowing your body to feel heavy on the mat, accepting that feeling, notably on the back of the pelvis, the back of the shoulder blades, and the back of the skull, which will signal to Vata that it can ground. Releasing your leg as both feet come to the outer edge of your mat and you begin to windshield wiper your legs back and forth. Arms are in a T position. Slowly moving legs side to side. And now transitioning into a double knee twist. The legs are on the left side. Positioning your arms however is comfortable for you. Once again, allowing your body to feel heavy on the mat, rooted, grounded, pacifying Vata dosha. Placing feet at the edge of the mat again, returning to windshield, wiping the legs slowly back and forth. Arms are teed. Coming into our double knee twist with our legs on the right hand side. Arms positioned however you desire them to be. Closing your eyes here if you wish. Arms are teed, feet return to the mat. For a few more windshield wipers, back and forth. And transitioning either into constructive rest, hands on the belly, or Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined bound butterfly with arms overhead. Closing your eyes here, continuing to breathe in and out through the nose, inhalations longer than the exhales, allowing your body, the weight of it, to just sink into the mat, allowing yourself to ground mentally, physically, emotionally, and energetically. Transitioning into Shavasana pose, legs are extended, feet are relaxed, Arms are by the side, palms facing up. Eyes closed here if you wish. The jaw is soft, the tongue relaxed. Allowing yourself to rest on the mat. Continue resting on the mat in Shavasana for as long as you need until you feel ready to return to an upright seated position. Until we meet again on the mat, be well.